Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. As you grow from being a fairly secure little child to living in a social environment, it's quite natural to use your senses to compare yourself to other people. You may compare yourself to your siblings, to friends, but there's a thing that happens when you become about 11 or 12 where you're right at the top of your game. You've learned to master this little body. You have a good sense of balance. You can run and jump. And things are fairly stable. And then something strange happens. You enter puberty. And without your knowledge or permission, this body that you identify with starts changing in ways that you couldn't have predicted necessarily. And it's at that time when you become particularly vulnerable to thoughts and comparisons and judgments from other people and from yourself. Maybe you're developing not as quickly as your friends, or just the opposite. You're developing too quickly, you think. Maybe you're getting more attention than you're used to because of your body, or less than you're used to, as other people get attention from their bodies. Whatever this stage is, it can be very uncomfortable, like in the middle school years. During that time, your self-worth has very much to do with how you see yourself in relation to other people. A little bit later, you might receive a respite from that awful comparison, where you go up and down and up and down. And that's the introduction, earlier and earlier now, of something that could change your consciousness. Even little children like to change their consciousness. Little kids like to turn around and get dizzy and be on a swing and twist it around and then untwist it. Altering one's state of consciousness is pretty natural. But at a certain point, drugs are introduced. Maybe you sneak some alcohol or get high with a friend. And something pretty wonderful happens, which is that you forget. You become detached from the conversation where you're constantly comparing yourself with other people and how you were before. And the respite from that conversation is such relief that it's not long before you would like to do that again. This is where addiction can easily take hold. And it doesn't have to be addiction to substance. It could be addiction to distraction, addiction to relationships, addictions to your emotions. Whatever it is, you're looking for a break from the constant up and down of comparing and judging and determining and concluding, which is so exhausting and so prematurely aging. Unfortunately, the things that take you away from constant thinking have their own inherent problems, as do all solutions on this plane. Alcohol can become a problem. Distraction can become a problem. Marijuana can become a problem. Things can escalate more and more. It becomes harder and harder to just be present because of the constant conversation. what you end up with is a kind of life of quiet desperation, whether you admit it or not. You need to stay busy or stay out ahead of that wake that's going to splash over you from the back when you stop. All of these things, believe it or not, are leading you to a wonderful place. The desire to alter your consciousness is not a bad thing. The desire to escape from your thoughts is not a bad thing. It turns out there is a way to get high and to change your perspective on everything. But it requires that you be still for a while and be present to what might at first seem uncomfortable, and let that dissolve away. And come home to a kind of peace that can only be found inside of you. It won't be found in a bottle or a drug or a distraction or a TV show. It's only found inside of you. And it will feel like home. It is the answer to anxiety and depression. It is who you are. Do whatever you can do. Be around whoever you can be around. Connect with nature. Follow your breath. And let yourself be lifted into this present moment, which ironically is full of peace, but also excitement. A wonderful, warm feeling of peace that you can bring with you and let those other conversations buzz around you, but do not connect with them. Connect with who you are, which turns out to be miracle of miracles, love itself. This is yourself calling to yourself. This is the attraction of love, way beyond addiction. It's the most solid connection you can make to who you really are. Let that grow in you. And enjoy love for its own sake. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.